Good morning, good morning. All right, so here we are. Book of Jasher. We're in chapter 27. And last time, Abraham had passed away. We see his funeral is a really big deal because of how much of a huge impact he's had on the region and so many other people's lives. So now we're down to Jacob, let's see here, Abraham, Isaac. So Isaac and Jacob, or Jacob and Esau. And this is the stories that we're on. So, 27. And Esau, at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Amraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field, and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. I wonder why they repeat all the days. So Nimrod was getting really jealous of Esau. Nimrod was known as the really good hunter, and he was the one who received the garments from Adam and Eve through his father stole them from Noah, and Nimrod used them to rule in Babel. And so here we have it again. So on a certain day, Esau went into the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness. But they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. So he was stalking Nimrod, it sounds like. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to the place where they were, when Esau started suddenly from his lurking place, and drew his sword, and hastened, and ran to Nimrod, and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the 2 men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them, and smote them to death with his sword. And all the mighty men of Nimrod, who had left him to go to the wilderness, heard the cry at a distance. And they knew the voices of those 2 men, and they ran to know the cause of it. And when they found their king and the 2 men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness, and when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled, and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land, and he ran and concealed them in his house. So this is it right here. This is where it's directly saying that Esau killed Nimrod to get those garments back. All right, interesting. And he came into his father's house, wearied and exhausted from fight, and he was ready to die through grief, when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. And he said unto his brother Jacob, Behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore then do I want the birthright? And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter, and Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by the Lord. So we're seeing, in addition to the additional information of Esau getting back the garments of Adam and Eve from Nimrod, but he was exhausted, not just from hunting, but from specifically hunting Nimrod and being chased and pursued by the mighty men of Nimrod. And this is what he sold the birthright for. It was a little more than I was just exhausted. Here, give me some of your pottage. It was like, dude, with what I've done today, I am going to be dead shortly. So, and the Lord brought this about. So, in Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had bought from the children of Heth for the possession of a burial ground, Esau also sold Jacob, and Jacob bought all this from his brother Esau for value given. So it's more than just pottage. It's, all right, here is my birthright. Here is where I get buried. Here is all this. And he gives him value given. I assume that means he paid him. And Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it, and the book remained in the hands of Jacob. And when Nimrod the son of Cush died, his men lifted him up and brought him in consternation and buried him in his city. And all the days of Nimrod lived were 215 years, and he died. And the days that Nimrod reigned upon the people of the land were 185 years, and Nimrod died. So Nimrod was still going at 215 before he was killed. Like you said, these guys, the generations after the flood, really started going downhill. So anyways, days of Nimrod reigned upon the people of the land were 185 years, and Nimrod died by the sword of Esau in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused his death, as he had seen in his dream. This is why he wanted to get rid of him, Abraham at first. And at the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many divisions, and all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them after the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod were for a long time enslaved to all other kings of the land. Wait a minute. All the people of the house of Nimrod. So it was just a reversal. So Nimrod dies. So everyone who served specifically Nimrod became slaves to the new uprising kings that were probably subjected under Nimrod. Chapter 28. And in those days after the death of Abraham, in that year the Lord brought a heavy famine in the land, and whilst the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on account of the famine, as his father Abraham had done. And the Lord appeared that night to Isaac, and he said to him, "Do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar, to Abimelech, king of the Philistines." Really? "And remain there till the famine shall cease." And Isaac rose up and went to Gerar, as the Lord commanded him, and he remained there a full year. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rebekah, his wife, was of beautiful appearance. And the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his wife, and he said, "She is my sister." For he was afraid to say she was my wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. Like father, like son, right? And the princes of Abimelech went and praised the woman to the king, but he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. I think he figured this out by now. Someone coming in from over here and saying that's a sister? I'll pass. Thanks. Been there. Done that. But he heard them say that Isaac declared her to be his sister. So the king reserved within himself. And when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Abimelech looked out at the window, and he saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. For Isaac dwelt in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. And the king said unto Isaac, "What is this that thou hast done to us, in saying of thy wife, she is my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people, have lain with her, and thou wouldst then have brought guilt upon us." And Isaac said to Abimelech, "Because I was afraid lest I die on account of my wife, therefore I said, she is my sister." At that time Abimelech gave orders to all his princes and great men, and they took Isaac and Rebekah his wife, and brought them before the king. And the king commanded that they should dress them in princely garments, and make them ride through the streets of the city, and proclaim before them throughout the land, saying, "This is the man and his wife. Whosoever toucheth this man or his wife shall surely die." And Isaac returned with his wife to the king's house, and the Lord was with Isaac, and he continued to wax great, and lacked nothing. And the Lord caused Isaac to find favor in the sight of Abimelech, in the sight of all his subjects, and Abimelech acted well with Isaac. For Abimelech remembered the oath and the covenant that existed between his father and Abraham. Oh, this is Abimelech the second. Well, maybe he learned from his father too. At least he didn't make any quick advances, unlike his father. So they're learning. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Behold, the whole earth is before thee. Dwell wherever it may seem good in thy sight, until thou shalt return to thy land. And Abimelech gave Isaac fields and vineyards, and the best part of the land of Gerar, to sow and to reap, and to eat the fruits of the ground until the days of famine should have passed by. And Isaac sowed in that land, and received 100-fold in the same year. And the Lord blessed him, and the man waxed great. And he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And when the days of the famine had passed away, the Lord appeared unto Isaac, and said unto him, Rise up, go forth from this place, and return to thy land, to the land of Canaan. And Isaac rose up, and returned to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan, and he and all belonging to him, as the Lord commanded him. And after this, Shelach, the son of Arpachshad, died in that year, which is the 18th year. Sorry, I'm thinking of something. Sorry. I'm thinking of a dream that recently came to me about. It was fascinating. It was and so I was wondering if, I was thinking about how Isaac was having dreams, and specifically the Lord was telling him what to do in those, which is great. I wonder if he had any more details on that. If it was just as simple as like, oh, he appeared before me and he said, all right, time to get up and go. He's like, okay. That's kind of the impression that I get, but oh well. And after Shelach, the son of Arpachshad, died in that year, which is the 18th year of the lives of Jacob and Esau, and all the days that Shelach lived were 433 years, and he died. At that time, Isaac sent his younger son Jacob to the house of Shem and Eber, still around. And he learned the instructions of the Lord, and Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years, and Esau his brother did not go, for he was not willing to go, and he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. And Esau was continually hunting in the fields to bring home what he could get. So did Esau all the days. And Esau was a designing and deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men, and inveigled them? What in the world word is that? Inveigled them. What is inveigled? It's like entangled, but inveigled. Yes, you see my face. Now. Inveigled. Inveigled. So it is inveigled. To win over by coaxing, flattery, or artful talk. To obtain by cajolery. So, wow. New word for the day, inveigled. Wow, okay, so he was deceitful. He hunted after the hearts of men and inveigled them. He coaxed them. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Seir, the same is Edom. And he remained in the land of Seir, hunting in the field a year and 4 months. And Esau there saw in the land of Seir the daughter of a man of Canaan, and her name was Jehudith, the daughter of Beri, son of Epher, from the families of Heth, the son of Canaan. And Esau took her for a wife, and he came unto her 40 years old, was Esau when he took her, and he brought her to Hebron, the land of his father's dwelling place, and he dwelt there. And it came to pass in those days, that 110th year of the life of Isaac, that in the 50th year of the life of Jacob, in that year died Shem, the son of Noah. And Shem was 600 years old at his death. See what I mean? It took him that long to die, and every time Abraham and Isaac and Jacob all went to Shem. Wow. 600. But he wasn't as old as even the people before the flood, who were like 900. And when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father, to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. And when Shem died. Oh, okay, so when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father. And in the 56th year of the life of Jacob, people came from Haran, and Rebekah was told concerning her brother Laban, the son of Bethuel. For the wife of Laban was barren in those days, and bare no children, and also all his handmaids bare none to him. Sounds like a Laban problem. And the Lord afterward remembered Adinah, the wife of Laban, and she conceived and bare twin daughters. And Laban called the name of his daughters the name of the elders Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. Here we go. And those people came and told these things to Rebekah, and Rebekah rejoiced greatly that the Lord had visited her brother, and that he had gotten children. So this is where we get Rachel and Leah. But Jacob was 56? Huh. Okay. Chapter 29. So, I find this fascinating that there's great age disparities between the patriarchs and the young women that they marry. You don't get that in the Bible that I know of, that I can think of. But anyway. And Isaac the son of Abraham became old and advanced in days, and his eyes became heavy through age, and they were dim and could not see. At that time Isaac called unto Esau his son, saying, Get, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow. Rise up and go forth into the field, get me some venison, and make me savory meat, and bring it to me, that I may eat, in order that I may bless thee before my death, as I have now become old and grey-headed. And Esau did so, and he took his weapon and went forth into the field to hunt for venison, as usual, to bring to his father, as he had ordered him, so that they might bless him. And Rebekah heard all the words that Isaac had spoken unto Esau. And she hastened and called her son Jacob, saying, This did thy father speak unto thy brother Esau, and thus did I hear now, therefore hasten now, and make that which I shall tell thee. Rise, go up, I pray thee, to the flock, and fetch me 2 fine kids of the goats, and I will get the savory meat for thy father. And thou shalt bring the savory meat, that he may, before thy brother, shall have come from chase, in order that thy father may bless thee. And Jacob hastened and did as his mother commanded him, and he made the savory meat, and brought it before his father, before Esau had come from his chase. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Who art thou, my son? And he said, I am thy firstborn Esau, and I have done as thou didst order me. Now therefore rise up, I pray thee, and eat of my hunt, in order that thy soul may bless me, as thou didst speak unto me. And Isaac rose up, and he ate and drank, and his heart was comforted. And he blessed Jacob, and Jacob went away from his father. And as soon as Isaac had blessed Jacob, and he had gone away from him, behold, Esau came from his hunt from the field. And he also made savory meat, and brought it to his father, to eat thereof, and bless him. And Isaac said unto Esau, And who was he that has taken venison, and brought it me before thou camest? And whom did I bless? And Esau knew that his brother Jacob had done this, and the anger of Esau was kindled against his brother Jacob, that he had acted thus toward him. And Esau said, Is he not rightly called Jacob? Meaning supplanter. For he has supplanted me twice. Oh, hey, there you go. He took away my birthright. That was an equal trade after you got the garments of Adam and Eve back. And Esau wept greatly, and when Isaac heard the voice of his son Esau weeping, Isaac said unto Esau, What can I do, my son? Thy brother came with subtlety, and took away thy blessing. And Esau hated his brother Jacob, and on account of the blessing that his father had given him, and his anger greatly roused against him. And Jacob was very much afraid of his brother Esau, and he rose up and fled to the house of Eber, the son of Shem. And he concealed himself there on account of his brother. And Jacob was 63 years old, when he went forth from the land of Canaan from Hebron, and Jacob was concealed in Eber's house 14 years on account of his brother Esau. And there he continued to learn the ways of the Lord and his commandments. And when Esau saw that Jacob had fled and escaped from him, that Jacob had cunningly obtained the blessing, then Esau grieved exceedingly, and he was also vexed at his father and mother, and he also rose up and took his wife and went away from his father and mother to the land of Seir, and he dwelt there. And Esau saw a woman from amongst the daughters of Heth, whose name was Bosmath, and the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and he took her for a wife in addition to his first wife. And Esau called her name Adah, saying that the blessing had in that time passed from him. And Esau dwelt in the land of Seir 6 months, without seeing his father and mother. And afterward Esau took his wives and rose up and returned to the land of Canaan. And Esau placed his 2 wives in his father's house in Hebron. And the wives of Esau vexed and provoked Isaac and Rebekah with their works, for they walked not in the ways of the Lord, but served their fathers' gods of wood and stone, as their father had taught them. And they were more wicked than their father, and they went according to their evil desires of their hearts, and they sacrificed and burnt incense to Baalim. And Isaac and Rebekah became weary of them. So you can see how it's filling in the details of how they vexed Isaac and Rebekah. Because in Genesis, they're just like, yeah, not keen on those ladies. So, and you also get that the specific age of Isaac as he went to Elam, son of Shem, so son of Noah's son, so the grandson of Noah's son, to continue to learn the ways of the Lord. By this time, Leah and Rebekah are growing up, who we heard about earlier. And Rebekah said, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. And if Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good then is life unto me? Oof. And in those days Adah, the wife of Esau, conceived and bare him a son. And Esau called the name of the son that was born unto him Eliphaz. And Esau was 65 years old when she bare him. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, died in those days, in the 64th year of life of Jacob. And all the days of Ishmael lived were 137 years, and he died. And when Isaac heard that Ishmael was dead, he mourned for him, and Isaac lamented over him many days. And at the end of 14 years of Jacob's residing in the house of Eber, Isaac's brother died, and he's old and blind. And at the end of 14 years of Jacob residing in the house of Eber, Jacob desired to see his father and mother. And Jacob came to the house of his father and mother in Hebron, and Esau had in those days forgotten what Jacob done to him in having taken the blessing from him in those days. And when Esau saw Jacob coming to his father and mother, he remembered what Jacob had done to him, and he was greatly incensed against him. And he sought to slay him. And Isaac the son of Abraham was old and advanced in days, and Esau said, Now my father's time is drawing nigh, that he must die, and when he shall die, I will slay my brother Jacob. And this was told to Rebekah, and she hastened and sent and called for Jacob her son. And she said unto him, Arise, go, flee to Haran, to my brother Laban, and remain there for some time, until thy brother's anger be turned from thee, and then shalt thou come back. And Isaac called to Jacob, and said to him, Take not a wife from the daughters of Canaan. For this did our father Abraham command us according to the will of the Lord, which he had commanded him, saying, Unto thy seed I will give this land, if thy children keep thy covenant that I made with thee. And then will I also perform to thy children that which I have spoken unto thee, and I will not forsake them. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, to all that I shall command thee, and refrain from taking a wife from amongst the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Haran, to the house of Bethuel my mother's father, so maternal grandfather, and take unto thee a wife from the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. Take therefore heed, lest thou shouldst forget the Lord thy God, and all his ways in the land to which thou goest, and shouldst get connected with the people of the land, and pursue vanity, and forsake the Lord thy God. But when thou comest to the land, serve there the Lord. Do not turn to the right or to the left from the way which I commanded thee, and which thou didst learn. Sorry, got a message here that I want to see. Oh, nice. Okay. So don't get connected to the people and don't forsake the Lord. And may the Almighty God grant thee favor in thy sight of the people of the earth, that thou mayest take there a wife according to thy choice, one who is good and upright in the ways of the Lord. And may God give unto thee and thy seed the blessing of thy father Abraham, and make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and mayest thou become a multitude of people in the land whither thou goest. And may God cause thee to return to this land, the land of thy father's dwelling, with children and with great riches, and with joy and with pleasure. And Isaac finished commanding Jacob and blessing him, and he gave him many gifts, together with silver and gold. And he sent him away, and Jacob hearkened to his father and mother. And he kissed them and arose and went to Padan Aram. And Jacob was 77 years old when he went out from the land of Canaan, from Beersheba. And when Jacob went away to go to Haran, Esau called unto his son Eliphaz, and secretly spoke to him, saying, Now hasten, take thy sword in thy hand, and pursue Jacob, and pass before him in the road, and lurk for him, and slay him with thy sword in one of the mountains, and take all belonging to him, and come back. Whoa! This is additional material. And Eliphaz, the son of Esau, was an active man and an expert with the bow, and his father had taught him. And he was a noted hunter in the field, and his valiant man. And Eliphaz did as the father had commanded him. And Eliphaz was at that time 13 years old, and Eliphaz rose up and went and took 10 of his mother's brothers with him, and pursued Jacob. And he closely followed Jacob, and he lurked for him in the border of the land of Canaan, opposite the city of Shechem. And Jacob saw Eliphaz and his men pursuing him, and Jacob stood still in the place in which he was going, in order to know what this was. For he did not know the thing, and Eliphaz drew his sword, and he went on advancing, he and his men, toward Jacob. And Jacob said unto him, What is to do with you that you have come hither? And what meaneth it that you pursue with your swords? And Eliphaz came near to Jacob, and he answered and said unto him, Thus did my father command me, and now therefore I will not deviate from the orders which my father gave me. And Jacob saw that Esau had spoke to Eliphaz to employ force. Jacob then approached and supplicated Eliphaz and his men, saying to him, Behold, all that I have, and which my father and mother gave unto me, that take unto thee, and go from me, and do not slay me, and may this thing be accounted unto thee a righteousness. And the Lord caused Jacob to find favor in the sight of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and his men, and they hearkened unto the voice of Jacob, and they did not put him to death. And Eliphaz and his men took all belonging to Jacob together with the silver and gold that he had brought with him from Beersheba, and they left him nothing. And Eliphaz and his men went away with him, and they returned to Esau to Beersheba. And they told him all that had occurred with Jacob, and they gave him all that they had taken from Jacob. And Esau was indignant at Eliphaz's son, and at his men that were with him, because they had not put Jacob to death. And they answered and said unto Esau, Because Jacob supplicated us in this manner, not to slay him, our pity was excited toward him. And we took all belonging to him, and brought it unto thee. And Esau took all the silver and gold which Eliphaz had taken from Jacob, and he put them by in his house. And at that time, when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and had commanded him, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife from amongst the daughters of Canaan, and that the daughters of Canaan were bad in the sight of Isaac and Rebekah, then he went to the house of Ishmael, his uncle. And in addition to his other wives, he took Machlath, the daughter of Ishmael, the sister of Nebaioth, for a wife. Next is chapter 30. Let's see how big this is. Ooh, this is a doozy. I think I'll call that good for now. Wow. So we can see that Esau was really PO'd at Jacob in a lot of ways. So this is fascinating to me. Okay, so it seems like Jacob is apparently 70. This would probably mean that Leah and Rebecca were 30, 20, that kind of thing. And so we'll see when we get there. I think that's the next chapter, is this big long one about him probably serving for Rebecca and getting Leah. But yeah, you get the sense that Esau was really angry, but At the same time, him literally sending his son to go kill him when he was 13. Huh. Well, I'm glad the Lord was with him, and he was willing to go with nothing. Let's trust in the Lord there, too. Sometimes when you just need to go on nothing, the Lord really delivers. So, I hope in our abundance that we seek to help those who are in need. And I hope with those who are in need, they are humble and patient and rely on the Lord and do all that they can, and the Lord will bless them. It's not fun. It's not easy. Not by a long shot. But a lot of times when you go through the worst, but you try your hardest, is when the Lord really blesses you. There's a bunch of times where I see that when people share their stories of massive success, there's a bunch of times that it comes after they've had the worst times in their life. Just absolutely horrific. And you can see that kind of repeated over and over. It's not all the time, by any means, but for the people that really hit rock bottom, but really put forth all their effort, magical things sometimes happen at that point. And hopefully, we can be mindful of the sacrifices that we make. I think when you have what the information from the Lord about how to live and act, and you work hard, the Lord will see you through. Well, one thing I'm just sitting here thinking about the relationship of Esau and the jealousies that he has. This is why it's very important for siblings to learn to get along together and to let go their pettiness and their hatred and other things, because if something big happens, that's distressing. So distressing. Well, I hope the Spirit of the Lord is with you this day, and I hope it remains with you in your life to guide you as you need. We'll see you around.